Welcome back. I'm so excited to paint this with you. Well, I'm going to talk about it with you. I painted it all by myself and with my dogs. You'll see them later. But here's the vision, okay? Also, there's me. How you doing? You doing okay? All right. Well, anyways, the book pages. You know those things? I've been doing some book page art, and what I haven't tried is gluing a bunch of book pages to a canvas. I wanted them all just kind of spread out and layering each other, kind of. And here I am trying to get a video for my TikTok and Instagram version of this. I didn't get much of this process, so you're seeing more of it. But still not great because my camera was being weird too, and I kept having to take it off the tripod, and then I messed up the tripod, so then I was just balancing it in weird places. That actually happens a few times throughout this. No worries. We do what we can. But here I am. I have Mod Podge and a sponge. Did I look up, how to glue on paper to something? No. Should I have? Probably. I was scared and stressed during this time of the painting, but I just went with it. So I have the sponge, I have the Mod Podge. First, I just put it on the back of the canvas, or I just put it on the canvas and then slapped that paper on there. And it was just falling off. I said, all right, we're pivoting, and we are painting it on the paper, okay, sticking it on, and then we're painting over the whole paper and just kind of flattening it and gluing it, because we're going to glue other paper on top of it, so whatever. It is wrinkly at this point, and I said, oh no. See, I try to go back and flatten it, I'm scared. But we trust the process, and if it doesn't trust us, or if it fails us, and that's okay. I am now, here's a fun, weird angle of me. Listen, Mod Podge everywhere. It was a little bit atrocious. I don't mind getting messy, I really don't, but there's something about glue all over your hands, as you're also then, you have to, oh no, your camera died, so now you have to change the battery and take it off the tripod. Oh no, you have glue all over your hands? What do? Well, you get glue all over your camera. That's what I did. Don't know what that face meant, but alright. This is another fun angle, because okay, moving on. I also, look at my ponytail. I was babysitting recently, and she had her hair kind of like that, and she says her sister calls it the nugget, and that really made me laugh, because it's just a little blob on your head. Moving on. Here are my hands. I'm showing you. It's icky, and now I'm washing it off, okay? Because sometimes I just couldn't handle it, or I had to do something else, so I washed them. Here, you can't see me. You're just looking at my arm. But here I am flattening the paper and putting it on. Ooh, that one did good. But see, as it sits there, it wrinkles. And I did ask someone in my voiceover of the TikTok and Instagram video, I was like, explain the science behind this being wrinkly and then ending up flat. Because I've also done some, after this one, they stayed wrinkly. Like, they didn't flat out as they dried. They didn't get flat as they dried. But this one did. And I was honestly amazed. Because I was just like, we'll just see what happens. I'll just keep going. And then maybe over time, I don't know. But someone commented, either way, I don't understand how that works. But someone said, the paper expands as it absorbs the glue and shrinks as it dries, hence bubbles, then drying flat. All right. Okay. I will not verify that. I will not look it up further. I'll just keep wondering. Not wandering. I'll keep wondering with an O. I might wander too. Who knows? Also, I can't help but notice that my sweater is the exact color of this paper. I think that's beautiful. I did decide to leave, so this one I'm kind of putting it up to the edge of the canvas, but I did leave some space. But I just figured I'll probably cover that with something else, with flowers, and now we're done, okay? At this point, all we can do is hope for the best. That's what I was doing. Here's my gross sink. Don't look at it. It's just how it is. There's paintbrushes rotting. I really need to fix that. Maybe one day. Oh, look. Is this like that? It looks flat, so this must be, well, we're still wearing something different. Here's the inspiration. Her dress. I had already been kind of inspired by colors like this, And that reminded me of the dress, and then I looked up the dress for this one. And now there's my white paint. Can't open it. Struggling. Got it. Oh, look, see how flat it is. There are still like a few little tiny wrinkles, but I'm okay with that. And I'm going in with the blobs. I kind of tried to cover up the pictures because I don't really want that, but these are all gardening from a gardening book. So I kind of just wanted colorful wildflowers everywhere, as if this is a book page garden, a garden of book pages and flowers that I just made up. We can make things up because they look cool. It's kind of like my bookshelf garden, where it's a bookshelf but overgrown with flowers. It's a book page garden. You get it. So she has some sunflower-ish looking flowers on her dress, but I essentially just did my own blobs. And then I did some, are the daisies? So I know daisies are the white with the yellow centers. What are the yellow with the black centers? Is that a black-eyed Susan? Or did I make that up? Let's Google it while you watch me continue to paint blobs. I love that blue color. We got a lot going on. It's very fun. I'm still Googling. I'm still working on that. I'm getting distracted because I'm still talking. It is a black-eyed Susan. Okay, cool. Listen, I tried to, as I was speaking, because I was distracted, I typed in black-eyed flower, but it knew what I was talking about. Even though I was telling myself to type in Susan. Who is Susan? Someone look that up. I'm not. Anyways, here's some orange, and the colors are just, they're crazy. They're not crazy. They're pretty similar to what I do, but just throwing in more together. I also wanted to do some of the flowers like they're peeking from behind certain pages so that you can tell that you can already tell that they're different pages just piled together, but even more so, it's like they're layered. I'm also looking up a picture of when I started this painting, and it was February 27th, and I finished it Wednesday. What day was Wednesday? March 15th. It's very bold of Apple to assume that I know the dates of the current week I'm in. Why would I know that? Because I had to look that up on my little calendar, because the phone wouldn't tell me. I bet if I looked in, oh, okay. If I swipe up, it gives more details. Moving on. I am adding little flowers. We got big flowers. We have medium flowers. This is very obvious, but I feel the need to share it with you just to make noise. And I did struggle a little bit too with the lines. Well, when I was trying to make them kind of act like they were behind the page, I definitely did go over the line a little bit, but that's where we say, oops, it didn't matter. Because that's what I love about these too. Well, you can't fix everything with the outline, but when you go back in with the outline, you can kind of reshape things or just like put more scribble marks and act like it was supposed to be messed up there. Like that's fun. I love that. I couldn't decide. I kind of kept making, which I did keep some of the darker colors, but I couldn't figure out what reddish purpley color I wanted, and I kind of just kept changing it, but I like the different shades. I think that blue is still my favorite. I didn't do any giant ones in that blue, I think, because in her dress, I did the main colors, the bigger colors, and then she had like the little ones, so that's where I was going with it. In my mind, that dress has beading on it, and it doesn't, but the first thing I made inspired by that was that pearl painting where I glued pearls on it, and then that made me want to glue beads. So I still need to do that, and I did consider gluing beads onto this, but there was already so much going on, and I just was tired of working on it by the time I finished, and it would have been time to add the beads. And I also just was scared to ruin it. So I just said, it's good as it is. here I am outside, and as I was watching this back, oh, okay, I don't know what that was. Oh, I have Sour Patch Kids. Scooby is hanging out with me. There he is. He's chilling. He's cool. I worked on this painting outside a lot, so you'll see a lot of Scooby. And then in the middle of the process of this painting in this video, surprise, got a new dog. Yeah. Yep. So you'll see him at the end. And we'll talk about him later. I wanted to paint outside because that week and stretch of time, this is like, I don't know, I gave you the dates. What is it? A little over 2 weeks or something? And I'm not verifying. I'm not looking at a calendar. Oh, I haven't switched my calendar to March. Aw. I should do that. 27th. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, like a little over 2. Oh, look, we're adding leaves. And I'm adding brown centers. Okay, I added brown centers to those. Interesting choice. Now, that's because I was going to go back over it with the black outline. That was just my base. I don't know what I was talking about. I'm so sorry. I should go back and listen because I got distracted. Oh, the weather was really nice. And also, bigger paintings I struggle to paint in my little closet of an art room. Love that place, but and I could have taken it to the office because I have an easel there, but I didn't want to. And I like painting outside. And I can also hang out with Scooby and he can just chill. And I can chill. And we can all chill. I kind of did a brighter green. It's not that bright. It's kind of, I guess it's pretty normal for what I do. No, I think it's a little brighter. I just wanted lots of life onto this painting. Green life. Greenery and flowers. Because that's the theme. We're gardening. And this is a book page garden. Look how... Also, the side of that canvas right there is beat up. And I don't know what happened. And I need to fix that somehow. Maybe just throw some white paint on it. But here I am. I haven't been listening. Let's talk about what I've been listening to and watching while painting this. Let me tell you. So, I haven't been reading much this month. I don't know why. Because right up to this painting, I was in my audiobook era, okay? Listening to mysteries, having a great time. And then maybe I got burnt out on it. I'm not sure. Because I finished one. No, was I finishing one while I was painting this? Who's to say? I think so, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. But the second half of this, which I was going to talk about, is I started watching Brooke and Connor make a podcast. I love watching podcasts on YouTube. I want to see their faces. I want to see the clips they pull up. It's so much better. And even though mostly I'm just listening to it because I'm doing something else, I can look back at their faces if I want to, or if I hear them talking about something, I'm like, I want to see. I love a silly, goofy time. I've always said that, okay? And that's the space I kind of create here. That's the way, it's just default, okay? It's just how I speak, and maybe it's I don't know, just not serious, but also still sincere. Do you understand? And that's kind of the vibe they have. That's the way they talk, and it's just fun. And did you hear my wrist pop? Maybe hopefully not, it doesn't matter. You can, that was something, but we're going to move on, okay? I am still doing the same thing. And watching this back is reminding me of how mind-numbing doing this was. Okay. It was such a big painting. And it got to a point, that's why I took forever. And I didn't really take that long, but it was kind of a long time for me because I truly just worked on it a little bit each day. And there it goes. It's okay. It kept falling over in the wind. No worries. A little bit of worries. But I was prepared. And I did lose my train of thought. I'm not going to go back. Moving forward, I like that lilac lavender color. And the you know what, now that I'm looking back on it, the crimson with that hot pink sure is a choice. But it just kind of works. Speaking of works, the works that I'm looking at right now that I've done on paper, some on canvas, most on paper, I have such a collection that I have not listed for sale. I have not done a restock. I haven't even done it. It started with the pastels. I was scared of those messing up. I was really trying to make sure that they were sealed. Okay? I decided that they were, but I was going to do a disclaimer that you don't rub your greasy hands all over it. You just hold it by the edge of the paper, because it'll be fine otherwise. It can brush against things, just not dragging your finger through it. And so then I started doing the pearls on the paper. I was a little scared those were going to knock off. I actually wasn't, but my mom was like, they're going to get like beat up in the mail. What happens if they get hit? I was like, maybe I'll just throw in some extra protection in there, throw in some bubble wrap. I'll figure it out. So I still need to figure that out. I guess that's why. And now we have the beads. That's even more of a risk. So I guess that's why, but I really have a bunch over there that I need to sell. But I'm not selling them if they're gonna fall apart. Oh, look, we're outlining. We love that. And if I can't sell them, maybe I'll just cover my entire walls with them. I'd kind of love that. But I have been working on this stuff for a really long time. I've been having the most fun, though. I love that for me. I love that for all of us. Because if I didn't, then, well, nothing much would change. And it just wouldn't be there. And I am outlining with the black pen. Let's talk about that. This was a dilemma for me. Because there are so many options. You know, when I first started outlining paintings, I just did the gold, nope, I was going to say gold, the black outline. And so I'm really going back to my roots with the blobs, acrylic paint blobs with the black paint pen. And I decided on the black paint pen this time because of the black writing. And I kind of just liked the thin pen with the little words in the background. And also because when in doubt, just go with the black paint pen. I couldn't do white, obviously. That wasn't even a choice. I'm just speaking now. I did consider gold. I always consider gold. I love gold. It still might have been pretty, but no. There's already so much going on. I feel like I've already said that, but maybe I haven't. There's a lot going on in this. And that's how I wanted it to be busy and fun. When I showed the finished product to my mom, she was like, what'd she say? She said something, and then she said it was very unique. And I said, she said it in a good way. But I know some of my stuff, it isn't for everybody, and not a lot of it she thinks is pretty, but she wouldn't hang it in her home. No, she hangs a lot of my stuff in my home, but it's in her home, but this she wouldn't, and I respect that. But I just thought it was funny that she was like, it's very unique. And I'm like, you know what? It is. So thank you. She said it in a good way. But I always ask her. I'm always like, or I just kind of show her. Sometimes I ask her. Usually I like to show it off. I like to show things to her, like, before I show anybody else. And be like, look at it. And then I get her reaction. I'm like, okay. It usually doesn't change anything, but she always likes it. But I feel like she's had some suggestions. Sometimes. Like, sometimes when I'm making something, I truly can't decide. And I'm like, well, what do you think? And she's like, I don't know, maybe that one. I'm like, okay. And then, but she definitely, like what I said about the suggestion, or she said to be careful about the pearls and them falling off or getting hit while in the mail. Certain things I would have maybe gotten there, but she thinks of them quicker because she's got that practical mind, whereas I don't. I mean, it's not that I'm not practical, I'm just not thinking about it. So I guess I'm not. Yeah, she does have suggestions and she helps a lot with that. And if she didn't do emails, we wouldn't be here today. The communication part of all this, I'm bad at communicating on any scale. You could text me, I avoid. That's like my instant reaction. And it instantly makes me anxious, just the fact that I got a text. So imagine me with a bunch of DMs from every social media site and emails that I have to respond to because they're my business. Thank goodness for her. And here you just saw, maybe because I barely did because I was speaking and I wasn't really paying attention. I put the end of the paint pen in my mouth because I was thinking, I don't know. And I had, right before that, I had like pumped the ink through on the top of the lid. I didn't have my table to do it on, so I did it on the lid. And then it had ink on it, and I put it in my mouth, and I freaked out, and I was like, "Ah." Anyways, we are still outlining. We sure are. This is so much, and it looks like we've been in this one spot for years. But we'll get there one day. That's kind of what it felt like as I was doing it. It felt like that's why it took so long. It technically just took longer because of the bigger painting, but it's not that big. It is. It's bigger than what I normally do. But it was also just mentally. I kept having to take breaks and just work on it in little sections because I would get bored. Because it's a lot of outlining flowers and kind of the same thing. I've seen comments before of people asking, do you ever want to paint anything other than flowers? And to that I say, I guess if I want to. But no, not really, because it's what I've practiced so many times, and it's what I like personally, and it's what I know. I've drawn them 1,000 times, and people also say I make it look easy, and it's because it is to me. Because I've done it 1,000,000 times. If you do something 1,000,000 times, it's gonna be like second nature to you. And I've outlined these flowers and painted flowers so many times. Not every type of flower, so there's still, which I kind of do my own, but sometimes I'm like, you need to maybe throw something else in there. But I can't help it. I stick to what I know. I do throw in, I try new things with the flowers, and that's kind of my way of doing different things. Like the books have been a whole new thing. I'm looking at a cactus painting right now. So I throw in different things. That's kind of the whole theme of my art. Flowers with things thrown in. And fun themes. And there's Scooby. He is trying to play, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. But here's the thing. If he would just drop it for me, I could throw it. Sometimes if he's really focused on a specific new ball or something, he will fetch it 1,000,000 times and bring it back and drop it. But that is so rare. I usually have to coax him to go get the ball even sometimes. I'm like, come on. I have to act all excited about it. And his favorite though is to play keep away. And that's probably not a great game to play because he also he's not great about, he steals things. I'm thinking about pot holders right now. He did that recently. And then he does not, it's a whole thing, and he doesn't give it back, and then we can't get it, and he's running away. So, but that's a different thing. Listen, I try my best, I really do. He just really loves it, and it's the fake out. He likes to act, I'm playing with my poppet, can you hear it? Woo! He doesn't even love to run or be chased, but he likes to, he loves that though. So that's what I kept doing here. It was kind of easier because I just kept pretending like I was starting to run after him, and then he'd run away in excitement. And so that's what we did. And here he is sitting on his little bed. He's so cute. Here's a Scooby cam with this ball. It's so gross and dirty. So is that bed, but it's alright. That thing, I love that thing. It's great. And he didn't care about it when I first got it for him, and I was like, please lay on the bed, please. There I am asking him a question, so he'll turn his head because I think that's cute in pictures. But he still doesn't lay on it a ton, but he definitely brings his toys and random things he finds over there and sits on it sometimes. It's like home base. That's what it is. He's about to sneak attack. Ready, and in a second, wait for it, and get it. He's so funny when he does chase after things sometimes. He does this, like, pounce thing right before he gets to it, and it's truly the cutest thing I've ever seen. And he is a big baby. The biggest widow baby. You should hear me talking. I know people joke about, like, baby talk to dogs. Mine is a whole different voice. It's not even baby talk. It's like I black out and just something takes over me. And I recognize it, and I know it's probably annoying. I can't help it. Here we are playing. It's another day, another play. Oh my gosh, this video is so long. I'm just making you feel what I felt while painting this. Because I know I keep saying that, but boy does it get monotonous. That's a word for you. Uh-huh. Yeah. We're finally we're to the point where I can sit down. That's nice. I can sit in my chair because I couldn't before. Maybe I could have shortened the easel, but who's Hey, fun thing about that easel is I bought it, okay? You following? I bought it and then it disappeared. And I said, this was like months ago. I was looking for it. Could not find it anywhere. I remember opening it. I know I didn't return it. I remember having trouble putting it together, or I was trying to because it comes with this shelf, which I didn't end up using for it because I couldn't figure out this time. Could not find it. Then I was like, I really want it. Where is it? Still couldn't find it months later. So I just got a new one. So one day I'll find it, but I do like it. It's very easy to take outside. And now we're back inside. And my water bottle. Can you hear the chair squeaking? If you can, I'm sorry. But the finish line, the light is at the end of the tunnel. We can see it. Oh my gosh. Here we go. Here you can meet, okay. What is that? It's Opie. That's Opie. He's the latest rescue. We really, I say that like we do this all the time. We don't. We rescued Scooby, but only because he showed up at our door. We've always kind of wanted a dog, but we just never did. So we always said that he, like, chose us, and we love that because we wouldn't have had him or had a dog any other way because we just never did it. And because it's so much, it's a lot. We've always had cats, and dogs are a lot more work. I love them both. I've always been a cat person, I guess, but I also have this thing where I hate when people are like, I'm a dog person, I'm a cat person. But I guess you are kind of more one or the other. But I love dogs, and I love cats, and they're so different. And they should not be compared at all, because they are different creatures. They give different things. So, I also have a thing about people saying they hate cats. It enrages me. Because what's your problem? Get out of my sight. Now, look how cuddly he is. So, let me tell you about him. Now I'm playing with a clip thing, and I need to set it down. So there's a neighborhood, like, right next to the office that I work in. And we always walk there, me and Scooby. And there I am, I matched the painting, but we're going to continue with the story. Also, my water bottle matches, but we're going to continue with the story. I was walking Scooby, and then we come across this house that we always pass, and there's this little dog sitting on the edge of the yard in the grass, just chilling, peacefully sitting. And I'm like, okay, I guess that's their dog, because it had a little harness on, but no collar, but I was like, okay. Right as we're just, like, stopping and staring at him because I'm trying to figure out what's going on. This car pulls up. It's, like, going down the road kind of opposite from us. And it's, like, they stop and roll down their window. And he's like, he's like, yeah, dog's been astray. Because I guess he just saw me standing there and looking at it. He's like, that dog's been astray in the neighborhood for like 5 days, and then said some other things that I couldn't fully understand because I was kind of like taken aback, and then also there was so much going on, and it was loud, and it was windy, and I couldn't really hear. And I was like, oh, and then he drove away. And so I was like, okay. And then he immediately liked Scooby. They met, they sniffed each other, and then he started following us. And I was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. He was scared of me. He started following Scooby, which the guy driving down the street at the exact time I see the dog felt like a moment. And then when he liked Scooby, that also felt like a moment. And then I was like, okay, I'm just going to let him follow us back to the office and then we'll go from there. Because we've wanted another one anyways for Scooby and us. And we wanted a smaller one because all Scooby wants to do is play with dogs. It's all he wants to do. He just wants to play. But I was worried about, like, he's a big dog, so I'm like, I want them to get along, and what if, like, we get another one and they hate each other, and it's all this thing. So when that one instantly liked him, I was like, oh my gosh. Blah, blah, blah. Later this other guy came out of his house, they put the harness on him or something, and they were kind of keeping it in their garage, but he, like, escaped. We kind of talked about it, and then that guy scared Opie away, and he ran away back into the yard. So I was like, okay, we're gonna go home. And then later that night, I'm scrolling on Facebook. Why? I don't know. And what do I see? What do I see? I see his picture, his little face, and one of the neighbors, it's the wife of that guy I was talking about, they were trying to find him a home, and apparently he'd been abandoned in the neighborhood, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is a moment. We need him. I'm going tomorrow and I'm getting him. So we decided, and it was like, okay, yep, we're doing it. And so we go back the next day and we get him. Because the day after that was Friday, which she said she would have to take him to a shelter on Friday. And I was like, no, give him to me. And so I first named him, Dobby because of his ears. And we have a character theme in our household of pets. We have Cinderella, my cat. Ella. She goes by Ella. We have Batman. We have Scooby-Doo. And so I was like, it's got to be another character. But it's got to fit him. And Dobby fit him to me, kind of. But then, as we were deciding things, I did some polls on Instagram, and my friend Annie suggested Opie. Because we were thinking about Ollie, Oliver, I can't think of any of the other ones. And then she said Opie. And I was like, oh my gosh, he is so Opie. That is so him. And that's still technically a character from Andy Griffith. Probably some other things. So, yeah, it just fit him to me. So there he is. That's Opie and Scooby. And they get along so well. And there was adjustment. I researched a bunch in that one day I had. And, and I tried to do all the things right. And they are doing really well, actually. He does have some separation anxiety, which I don't blame him for, and especially with me. He picked me as his person, which I fully respect and agree with and love. But it is we're working on it because it's a bit much, and he does not let me out of his sight. So, in my room, Ella lives in my room. There's a cat door that she can get into the closet next to my room with the litter box, but we try to keep them separate because it's not that, well, she doesn't like anyone other than me, so of course she doesn't like the dogs. But Scooby plays with her, tries to play with them as if they were a dog, and so I just keep them separate. But now we can't because Opie fits through the cat door. He fits through the cat door. So it's messing things up, but we're figuring it out, and it's okay, and I'm working on him with showing him that it is okay when he is away from me. And we're also working on the crate training because he hates that as well. So it is a process, but he is just precious and so cuddly, and I love him dearly. So, and here we are. I'm adding these. Let's talk about the painting again because that was a lot. And I added these black vines because I felt like it needed it, And I am painting it. I thought about doing it with with the paint pen, but I like how this looks, and I've done this before on things, so I did that. And there's Scooby playing with his ball, and this was very bold of me to do on the ground with them running around me, and at one point they literally are like wrestling right on top of me and the canvas. So, but I'm a risk taker, I fear nothing. And that is a lie, but sometimes I just don't care. And this is me. I'm like, I can do it. This is fine. Because everything was dry except what I was currently painting. But it could have gone wrong. It could have gone real bad. And I'm just like throwing the ball over and over so they go away. They do come back, but at least it's for a moment. I don't know why. Oh, it was really cold this day. I was just trying to finish it outside. I was just like, I need to finish this. But I couldn't because my fingers were freezing off because this dumb weather. I love it being cold, but when I'm in the spring mood and you tease me with spring and then you take it away, what do you want me to do? Because I was transitioning back to wearing shorts and not wearing a sweatshirt and leggings every day. And now I'm back, but, I'm just trying to get in the right mindset and you're confusing me. Also, I guess this was part of last week. Or maybe this was this week. But this whole week, my hair's been in a constant, just tangly mess. And that's what it is in this video. I can't even fully figure out what's going on, but we don't need to. We can look past it. You know what Opie's really good at? As talking about Scooby with Fetch and how he is not about that life. Opie is the best at it. He's like so good. He's actually great. Watch him drop it. Look at that. That's precious. You know what? We all have our strengths and weaknesses. And that's okay. I also love the back of on his back, that circle. I got a picture of him and I used the circle as the O in his name and then wrote P-I-E, so it's spelled Opie with the spot on his back. So really it's perfect that his name is Opie because he has an O on his back. Are we done with this painting yet? I'm so tired of talking. Mostly because my neck hurts. Do you ever wonder, I wonder, the long-term effects of me hunched over paintings all day? Because I wonder that sometimes. It's probably that I'll have back pain. I already do. I have neck pain more. Sometimes I sleep weird too. So many times, well, it hasn't happened a lot recently, but it did kind of recently where I wake up and I get a neck pain headache, and your just whole neck hurts all the way up to your head. That's terrible. But here we are. Let's move past that. It's finished. It's done. Look at her. Wow. Look at with the blanket I crocheted, with the chair. I think she'll just live here forever in this chair because I'm running out of room. But look. Precious. And of course with the rug. Okay. It's over. Bye. Love you.